Imagine discovering that the person you love most isn't who they claim to be. What if everything they've shown you was only part of the story? The truth about who they really are is about to shock you. My beloved child. Something happened. Something you didn't see coming. Last night, perhaps. Or maybe it was a morning like any other. You looked at them. This person who shares your life. And for a single moment, you felt it. A pause. A strange and sudden distance. You asked yourself. Who is this person really? Not their name. Not their job. Not the way they take their coffee. But beneath it all. Underneath the skin and the smiles and the years of shared memories. Who is the stranger standing right in front of you? We are taught to fall in love with what we see. With what we hear. With what we want to believe is true. But the heart knows a deeper rhythm. A beat that doesn't lie. And somewhere inside you, you already know. The face you hold at night is not the only face they wear. Have you noticed? The way they laugh, but their eyes don't always join in. The way they speak, but their silence screams something else. Perhaps you've seen it. A flicker. A shadow passing behind their gaze. And then it's gone. And you wonder. Did I imagine that? You didn't. There is a version of this person you have never met. And that version is closer than you think. Stay here with me. For just a little while longer. Because the truth is not meant to hurt you. It is meant to set you free. But first, you have to be brave enough to look. Don't rush. The biggest secret is always the last one to be uncovered. And right now, you are standing at the very edge of it. You feel it, don't you? That tightness in your chest. The question you've been too afraid to ask out loud. Do they really love me? Or do they love the person I help them become? Maybe you've been living inside a dream. A beautiful dream, with a hidden flaw. You gave them your heart. And they accepted it so gently. But what if they have been holding someone else's heart this whole time? Not a new love. Not a secret affair. Something deeper. A commitment you cannot see. A past that never truly ended. An allegiance to a version of themselves that you were never meant to meet. This person loves you. Yes. They do. But perhaps not in the way you need. Perhaps their love is a shelter, built in the middle of a storm they caused. And you have been waiting for the rain to stop. While they have been waiting for you to stop asking about the clouds. One more piece. Have you noticed how they change when they think you aren't looking? A certain quietness. A stillness that doesn't feel like peace. It feels like waiting. They are waiting for you to become someone else. Someone easier. Someone who doesn't ask questions. But you are not here to be easy. You are here to know. And knowing means seeing them, truly. Not with your eyes. With your spirit. And your spirit has been whispering to you for years. Listen. The truth is not cruel. It is simply true. And you have been ready for it longer than you know. Perhaps this is why you are here. Why you clicked on this message. Why you kept reading. Because deep down, you are not afraid of losing them. You are afraid of losing yourself in the process of keeping them. So let me tell you something you already feel. Something you've been trying to ignore. The version of them you love so desperately is not the only version that exists. And the version you fear is the one that holds the real power in your connection. But here is the part that will shake you. The person you love is also pretending. Not to hurt you. To protect you. From what they don't want you to see. From who they really are underneath the mask they've worn since childhood. They are hiding from themselves. And you are caught in the middle of their most beautiful performance. Don't skip ahead. Because this is where the story changes. This is where the mystery shifts. Because you have been asking, who are they really? But the question heaven is asking you is, who are you really? Have you noticed that their disguise only works because you are wearing one too? You showed them what they wanted to see. You gave them the love they craved. And you lost a part of yourself in the transaction. You gave them your soul. And now you feel empty. Not because they stole it, but because you handed it over. The truth is, they cannot give you what they do not have. They cannot reflect a love they have never known. And the mask they wear, it is not for you. It is for the world. For their mother. For their friends. For their past. For their own fragile heart. You are just the audience. The most loving audience they have ever had. But the show is ending. And behind the curtain, a different person waits. A person who is tired. A person who is lost. A person who does not know how to be loved without hiding. And that person is not the one you fell in love with. But they are the one you need to meet. If you ever want the truth to set you free. So here is the part you didn't expect. They are not the villain. And neither are you. You are two souls, dancing in a room full of mirrors. Seeing only what you want to see. Believing only what feels safe. But safety is not truth. And love, real love, does not hide. So I ask you now. Pause. Close your eyes for a moment. And ask your heart this. Is it them I am afraid of losing? Or the dream I built around them? Because the dream is not real. But you are. And your heart is ready for the truth. The truth is not a weapon. It is a doorway. And you have been standing outside it for years. One final layer before the night ends. They are not who they pretend to be. But they are also not who you fear they are. They are someone in between. Someone on the edge of becoming. Someone who is waiting for you to look past the illusion. And love the stranger inside. And when you do, everything will change. Not because they change. But because you finally see. And seeing is the beginning of the end of pretending. So stay with this feeling. Let it settle. Let it grow. Because this is not the end. This is only the beginning of what you've been searching for. And soon, you will understand. The most beautiful part of this story is the one you are about to live. But that part is for tomorrow. For now, sit with this. With them. With yourself. And ask. Am I ready to see the truth? Because it is already here. Waiting. And it loves you more than the lie ever could. My beloved child. You felt it, didn't you? That stillness after the last words faded. A quiet that wasn't empty, but full. Full of something waiting to be born. You didn't close the page. You didn't walk away. You stayed. Because something inside you knows. The first layer was just the surface. A door cracked open. But now you are ready to step through. Do you remember the moment you first realized something was off? Not a fight. Not a betrayal. Just a simple moment. They said something. And your soul flinched. Not because it was cruel. But because it was rehearsed. Like a line from a script they had memorized long before they met you. You felt it then. A tiny fracture in the glass. And you chose to look away. You chose to polish the glass. To make it shine again. But the fracture was never the problem. The problem was, you believed the glass was the whole picture. And now, You are ready to see what exists outside the frame. Perhaps you are wondering, if they are not who they pretend to be, then who am I pretending to be? Let that question rest for a moment. Do not rush to answer it. Just let it sit in your chest like a seed. Because the truth is, you have been hiding too. Not from them. From yourself. You have been hiding your doubts. Your fears. Your suspicion that something was wrong. You swallowed them. You buried them deep. Because admitting the truth meant risking everything. But that is the beautiful irony, isn't it? You have been so afraid of losing them, that you lost pieces of your own soul. One by one. Day by day. And they never even noticed. Because they were too busy maintaining their own illusion. Two people. Two masks. One bed. And a love that has been slowly, quietly suffocating. But not because the love is dead. Because the truth is missing. And without truth, even the most beautiful love becomes a cage. Stay with me now. This next part is the turning point. Have you noticed how they sometimes look at you? And you feel like they are looking through you? Not at you. Through you. As if they are searching for something you once had. But you gave it away. Or maybe they are searching for themselves. And your reflection is the closest mirror they can find. That is not love. That is need. And need is not the same as connection. You have been holding them. Comforting them. Carrying their weight. But who has been carrying yours? Who has looked at you and said, "Tell me everything. I am not afraid." No one. Because they cannot. Because they are too busy surviving their own story. Another layer. A quiet truth. They are not pretending to hurt you. They are pretending to survive. The mask is not a weapon. It is armor. Old armor. From wounds you never saw. From battles fought long before you arrived. And the person you love is still inside that armor. Cold. Tired. Alone. They want to take it off. They dream about it. But they are terrified of what they will find underneath. So instead, they hold you. And hope you will save them. But you cannot save someone who has not asked to be saved. And you cannot love someone into wholeness. You can only show them the door. They must choose to walk through. One more piece. And this one may sting. Because it's about you. Your kindness has been mistaken for permission. Your patience has been mistaken for blindness. Your love has been used as a shield against their own inner war. And you let them. Because you believed that was what love was. Giving everything. Asking for nothing. But love is not a transaction of sacrifice. Love is a mirror held gently between two people. And right now, that mirror is foggy. Clouded by unspoken truths. By fears you both refuse to name. So let me ask you something. Something your heart has been screaming in the quiet hours. What if they cannot love you the way you need? Because they do not love themselves? You have been waiting for them to change. To wake up. To finally see you. But they cannot see you. Because they are still hiding from their own reflection. Do not skip this. Because this is the moment the story turns. You are not here to fix them. You are not here to save them. You are here to see them. And seeing them means letting go of who you thought they were. It means loving the stranger. The one behind the armor. The one who is afraid. The one who doesn't know how to be honest. That is the person who needs your love. Not the performance. The performer. And here is the most shocking truth of all. When you finally see them. When you stop begging them to be someone else. When you stop pretending you haven't noticed. Something will shift. They will feel it. They will sense that the mask no longer works. And they will have two choices. Run deeper into the illusion. Or turn around and face you. For the first time. Truly face you. No script. No rehearsal. Just their raw, trembling, beautiful soul. And that moment. That is the moment everything changes. But you must be ready. Because if they turn around, you will see everything. The wounds. The lies. The shame. The parts of them they have never shown anyone. And you will have to decide. Can I love this person? Not the dream. This real, broken, beautiful stranger. That is the question. And no one can answer it but you. But here is the promise. The truth will never leave you empty. It will never leave you without hope. Because even in the midst of this, even in the confusion and the ache, there is a love waiting to be born. A love that is not based on pretending. A love that is not based on what they give you. But on the simple, sacred act of being seen. And being known. And choosing to stay. Not because you have to. But because you want to. Because they are worth it. And so are you. One final piece for this part. You are not losing them. You are losing the dream. And dreams are meant to be outgrown. What comes next is so much more real. So much more beautiful. But you have to let the old story go. And that is the hardest part. But you are not alone. You never were. Heaven is watching. And every tear you have cried has been seen. Has been counted. Has been turned into light. So breathe. Just breathe. Because the next part of this journey is the part where you finally stop asking who they are. And start asking who you are becoming. And that person is already so much stronger than you know. The truth is still unfolding. The biggest piece is still ahead. But you are ready. You have always been ready. And when the final truth arrives, you will not break. You will be free. Part 3 will reveal why they chose you. And what they have been hiding from themselves all along. Stay close. The story is about to change forever. You are still here. That means something. That means the questions have taken root. Deeper than you expected. Deeper than you wanted. And now you cannot look away. Because something is stirring inside you. A recognition. A quiet knowing. You have been waiting for this part. The part where it all makes sense. So let us go there. Together. You remember the beginning. The first time they looked at you. The way the world seemed to pause. The way your heart recognized something familiar. A feeling that said, I know you. I have always known you. And you believed it. You believed it with everything inside you. Because it felt like fate. It felt like destiny. But here is the part you never considered. What if they felt that same recognition? But for a different reason. What if the connection you felt was not a beginning, but an echo? A pattern repeating. A story being lived again. Stay with me now. This is the layer that changes everything. The person you love did not fall in love with you by accident. They were drawn to you. Driven toward you. By something they have never spoken aloud. A wound. A memory. A version of themselves they lost long ago. And you reminded them of that version. You reflected back the person they used to be. The person they still wish they could become. That is why they chose you. Not because of who you are, but because of who you made them feel. Do you see? It was never about you. It was always about them. And that is not cruel. It is human. We all search for ourselves in the eyes of others. We all look for mirrors. But when the mirror shows us something we cannot accept, we look away. We blame the mirror. We blame the love. But the mirror was never the problem. The problem was the reflection. And they have been running from their reflection for a very long time. Let me ask you something. Have you noticed how they light up when you are happy? How they seem more alive when you are laughing? How they cling to your joy like it is oxygen? That is not love. That is dependency. They are feeding on your light. Because their own has grown dim. And they do not know how to reignite it. So they take yours. Without asking. Without knowing. They take your light and they call it love. But love does not take. Love illuminates. Love makes you brighter. Not emptier. And you have been feeling empty, haven't you? Drained. Exhausted. Like you are pouring into a cup with a crack at the bottom. No matter how much you give, it is never enough. Because the crack is not your responsibility. The crack is theirs. And they are the only one who can seal it. But they have not tried. Because trying would mean admitting it is there. And that is the fear. The fear that holds them hostage. The fear that has been building walls around their heart since childhood. They are not hiding from you. They are hiding from their own pain. And they have been hiding so long. They forgot what it feels like to be seen. One more layer. And this one is quiet. This one is sacred. The person you love is a prisoner. Not of circumstance. Not of fate. Of their own story. A story they wrote when they were young. A story that said, I am not enough. I must perform to be loved. I must earn my place. And they have been performing for you. For everyone. For their entire life. But the performance is exhausting. And they are tired. So tired. And you have been the one witness to their exhaustion. The one person who saw the cracks. The one person who stayed. Even when the performance faltered. Even when the mask slipped. You stayed. And that terrified them. Because staying meant you were real. And real is something they do not know how to handle. So they pushed you away. Not with cruelty. With distance. With silence. With 1,000 tiny rejections that broke your heart. But here is the truth they do not even know. They pushed you away because they were afraid you would leave. And they wanted to leave first. To protect themselves. From the one thing they fear most. Being abandoned after being truly seen. Have you noticed the pattern? The cycle. They draw you close. Then they pull away. They show you vulnerability. Then they disappear behind the wall. They love you. And then they punish you for loving them back. It is not malice. It is survival. A survival mechanism that no longer serves them. But they do not know how to turn it off. And you have been caught in the crossfire. Wondering what you did wrong. Blaming yourself. Begging for the warmth to return. But the warmth was never yours to control. It was the weather inside them. And you cannot change the weather. You can only choose whether to stand in the rain. Now. The question you have been avoiding. The question that sits in your throat like a stone. Do I stay? Or do I go? And here is the answer heaven is whispering to your soul. Neither. You do not stay. And you do not go. You change. You change the way you see. You change the way you love. You stop loving who you want them to be. And you start loving who they actually are. A scared soul. A lost soul. A soul that is doing the best it can with what it has. And that love is not about keeping them. It is about freeing them. Freeing them from your expectations. From your needs. From the weight of your hope. When you release them from that, something shifts. They feel the space. They feel the air. And in that space, they might finally breathe. And when they breathe, they might finally speak. And when they speak, they might finally tell you the truth. The truth they have been holding back. The truth that has been eating them alive. The truth about who they really are. And what they are really afraid of. One final piece for this part. You have been asking for months. Years. Why won't they just be honest with me? But the question you should be asking is, why won't I be honest with myself? Because you know. You have always known. Not the details. Not the full story. But the feeling. The unease. The knowing that something was off. And you chose to ignore it. You chose to hope. You chose to believe the mask. Even when your soul screamed otherwise. So now, the honesty must begin with you. With your heart. With your willingness to see. And that is the hardest part. Because seeing means letting go. Letting go of the dream. Letting go of the future you imagined. Letting go of the person you thought they were. But letting go is not losing. Letting go is making room. Room for the truth. Room for the real connection. Room for the love that has been waiting in the shadows. The love that does not require a mask. The love that sees everything. And stays anyway. That love exists. It is already within you. And it is calling you forward. Not toward them. Toward yourself. Because the truth you have been searching for is not about them at all. It is about you. It has always been about you. And when you finally see yourself clearly, you will see them clearly too. And the choice will become simple. Not easy. But simple. Part 4 will reveal what happens when the mask finally falls. And who you become on the other side. The story is not over. It is only just beginning. Stay with me. The biggest truth is still coming. You have come so far. Through the shadows. Through the questions. Through the ache of not knowing. And now you stand at the threshold. The mask is trembling. The performance is ending. And something new is about to be born. But before we go there, before we step into the light, you need to understand one more thing. Something that will reshape everything you thought you knew. Are you ready? The person you love does not know they are pretending. They believe the mask is real. They believe the performance is who they are. They have worn it so long. It has become their skin. Their identity. Their very breath. And that is the deepest tragedy of all. Not that they lied to you. But that they lied to themselves. And they believed the lie. So when you look at them and feel the distance, remember this. You are looking at someone who has forgotten their own face. Someone who cannot find their way back. Because they do not even know they are lost. Stay here with me. This is the part that breaks the silence. The part that changes everything. Have you noticed how they react when you try to get close? Not physically. Emotionally. When you ask a deep question. When you share a vulnerable truth. When you reach for their heart. They stiffen. They deflect. They change the subject. It is not rejection. It is survival. They are protecting the mask. Because without the mask, they do not exist. And that is the terrifying truth they carry every single day. Without this persona, I am nothing. Without this performance, I am invisible. Without this act, I will be abandoned. And so they hold on. With white knuckles. With desperate silence. With a love that is real, but trapped. One more layer. And this one is for you. You have been trying to break through. Trying to save them. Trying to love them into freedom. But love does not break walls. Love softens them. And softening takes time. More time than you think. More patience than you have. And here is the question you must ask yourself. Am I willing to wait? Not for them to change, but for them to see. Because seeing is the first step. And it may take years. Or it may never come. Some people live their entire lives behind the mask. Some people die without ever knowing themselves. And you cannot force them to wake up. You can only hold the mirror. Gently. Consistently. Without judgment. And pray that one day, they look into it and recognize their own soul. But here is the part that hurts. The part that keeps you up at night. What if they never do? What if I give everything? And they still choose the mask? That is the fear. The fear that freezes your heart. The fear that keeps you clinging. Because letting go means accepting that they may never be who you need them to be. And that acceptance is the hardest thing you will ever do. But listen to me now. This is the truth that sets you free. You are not responsible for their awakening. You are responsible for your own. You came here to love them. Not to save them. To witness them. Not to fix them. To be present with them. Not to drag them into the light. And when you release that burden, when you stop trying to be their savior, something miraculous happens. You find yourself. The self you buried under all that hope. The self you sacrificed for their comfort. The self that has been waiting for you to come home. And that homecoming. That is the real miracle. Not them. You. One more piece. And this one is the key. The person you love is not the enemy. They are not the villain. They are a mirror. A painful, beautiful, necessary mirror. Reflecting back the parts of you that are still wounded. Still hoping. Still afraid. Every time they pull away, you feel your own abandonment. Every time they hide, you feel your own invisibility. Every time they choose the mask, you feel your own fear of being unlovable. They are showing you your own shadows. And that is why it hurts so much. Because it is not just about them. It is about you. About the love you never received. About the safety you never felt. About the truth you never spoke. They are the messenger. And the message is for you. So here is the question you must answer. Not for them. For you. What am I afraid to see in myself? What am I hiding behind my own mask? Because you have one too. A mask of strength. A mask of patience. A mask of being okay when you are not. You wear it well. But it is still a mask. And when you take it off, when you let yourself feel the fear, the sadness, the anger, the grief, you will finally be free. And then, and only then, can you truly love them. Not as a project. Not as a rescue. But as a fellow traveler. Another soul in the dark. Reaching for the same light. Stay with me now. This is the final layer of this part. The mask is falling. Not because you tore it off, but because you stopped needing to see the mask. You stopped needing them to be perfect. You stopped needing them to be anything other than what they are. A human being. Doing their best. Failing. Trying again. Just like you. And in that space. In that beautiful, terrifying, freeing space. Love becomes real. Not the love of expectation. Not the love of need. The love of presence. The love that says, I see you. I see your fear. I see your shame. I see your beautiful, broken, hidden self. And I am not leaving. Not because I need you. But because I choose you. And when they feel that. When they feel a love that asks for nothing. That demands nothing. That expects nothing. The mask will begin to crumble. Not because you fought it. But because it no longer serves a purpose. Because they no longer have to perform for you. Because they are finally safe enough to be real. And that moment. That sacred moment. Is the moment everything changes. Part 5 will show you what happens when the mask finally falls. And who you become in the aftermath. The story is reaching its peak. Stay close. The truth is almost here. You have walked through the fire. You have sat with the questions. You have held the weight of not knowing. And now, you are about to witness something extraordinary. You have arrived. Not at the end. But at the beginning of something new. Something that has never existed before. Two souls. Standing naked. Without masks. Without scripts. Without the safety of pretending. And the air between them is different. Lighter. More alive. Can you feel it? The stillness after the storm. The quiet after the confession. The peace that comes when there is nothing left to hide. This is the moment you have been waiting for. This is the moment you have been fighting for. And now that it is here. It may feel unfamiliar. You may not know what to do with it. Because for so long, your relationship was built on a foundation of not knowing. Of wondering. Of hoping. Of trying to decipher the mystery. And now the mystery is gone. And what is left is the truth. The raw, unpolished, imperfect truth. And it is more beautiful than you ever imagined. Stay with me now. This is where the real work begins. When the masks fall. When the truth is spoken. You are faced with a choice. The choice to stay. Not because you have to. Not because you are afraid to leave. But because you choose to. With open eyes. With full knowledge. With complete acceptance of who they really are. And that choice. That is the deepest love of all. Not the love that falls in love with a dream. But the love that wakes up. And falls in love with reality. Have you noticed the shift? The way they look at you now? Not with the eyes of a performer. But with the eyes of a child. Vulnerable. Hopeful. Terrified. And utterly open. They are waiting for your response. Waiting to see if your love was real. Or if it was just another mask. And your response will shape everything that comes next. One more layer. And this one is for you. When you look at them now. When you see the real person beneath the performance. You may feel a surge of something unexpected. Not just love. But gratitude. Gratitude that they trusted you. Gratitude that they chose you. Gratitude that they let you see the parts of themselves they have never shown anyone. And that gratitude will transform your heart. It will soften the edges. It will heal the wounds. It will remind you why you stayed. Why you fought. Why you believed in them. Even when it seemed impossible. But here is the question. The question that will define the rest of your journey. Now that you see them. Now that you know. Can you love them without conditions? Not the love that says, I will love you if you change. Not the love that says, I will love you if you heal. Not the love that says, I will love you if you finally become who I need you to be. But the love that says, I will love you exactly as you are. Right now. In this moment. With all your wounds. With all your fears. With all your beautiful, broken, imperfect humanity. That is the love that transforms. That is the love that heals. That is the love that lasts. And it is within you. It has always been within you. Now is the time to let it out. Now is the time to let it flow. Without restraint. Without hesitation. Without fear. Because the person standing before you is not the person you thought they were. They are so much more. And so much less. And both are perfect. Both are sacred. Both are worthy of love. One more piece. And this one is quiet. This one is for the future. When two souls meet without masks, something begins to grow. Something that was never possible before. A connection that is not based on need, but on choice. A bond that is not based on fear, but on trust. A love that is not based on performance, but on presence. And that love will become the foundation for everything else. It will carry you through the hard days. It will sustain you through the doubts. It will remind you why you stayed. And it will grow. Deeper. Richer. More beautiful. With every passing moment. Because real love is not a destination. It is a journey. A journey of becoming. Together. Not becoming who the other wants. But becoming who you truly are. And celebrating that truth in each other. That is the gift of the unmasked heart. That is the treasure you have found. Stay here with me. One final thought for this part. You have been through so much. You have faced the darkness. You have confronted the fear. You have held the space for someone who was lost. And now you are both found. Not because you reached a perfect destination, but because you are walking the path together. Without hiding. Without pretending. Without fear. And that journey is the most sacred thing you will ever experience. It is the reason you came here. It is the purpose behind the pain. It is the love that was always waiting for you. And it is yours. Right now. In this moment. For as long as you choose it. Part 7 will reveal how to nurture this new love. And what happens when two souls finally learn to grow together. The story is not over. It is becoming. Stay with me. The most beautiful part is still unfolding. Something that will change the way you see everything. The mask is not just crumbling. It is falling away. Piece by piece. Layer by layer. And what is emerging is not what you expected. At first, it will be confusing. The person you love will seem smaller. More fragile. Less certain. The confidence you admired. Gone. The charm that drew you in. Fading. The strength you leaned on. Cracking. And you will wonder. Who is this person? Where did the one I love go? But listen to me. This is not a disappearance. This is an arrival. They are not losing themselves. They are finding themselves. For the very first time. And the version of them that is emerging is a child. A frightened, uncertain, deeply wounded child. The one who never got to speak. The one who never got to choose. The one who learned very early that being real was too dangerous. That showing emotion was weak. That needing help was shameful. That child has been locked away for decades. Buried under layers of performance. And now that child is finally free. And they do not know what to do. They do not know how to be seen. They do not know how to receive love without earning it. They do not know how to exist without a script. And you are the first person to ever see them. Truly see them. Not the persona. Not the projection. The child behind the wall. And that is a sacred thing. But it is also terrifying. For both of you. Have you noticed how they are acting differently? More needy. More emotional. More unpredictable. They are not trying to push you away. They are testing you. Testing to see if you will stay. Testing to see if your love is real. Testing to see if they can finally let their guard down. And this is the moment of truth. This is where most people fail. Because when the mask falls, when the real person emerges, it is not beautiful at first. It is messy. It is raw. It is uncomfortable. And you will feel the urge to run. To escape. To beg for the old version to return. But the old version was a lie. And the new version, the real version, is still learning how to breathe. One more layer. And this one is for you. When you see them like this. When you see the child inside. Something will shift in your heart. You will feel a tenderness you have never felt before. A desire to protect. A desire to hold. A desire to heal. And that is beautiful. But it is also dangerous. Because you cannot heal them. You cannot protect them from their own pain. You cannot be the parent they never had. You can only be present. You can only hold space. You can only say, I am here. I am not leaving. And I am not afraid of who you really are. That is the greatest gift you can give. And it is enough. It is more than enough. Stay here with me. Because this is where the story turns again. The person you love is finally ready to tell you the truth. The deep truth. The one they have been hiding from themselves. And when they speak it, you will feel the earth shift beneath you. Because it is not what you think. It is not betrayal. It is not another love. It is not a secret life. It is something much more profound. Something that will break your heart. And heal it at the same time. They will say, I never felt worthy of you. I always thought you would leave. I spent every day waiting for you to discover who I really was. And walk away. And you will realize. All those years of distance. All those moments of coldness. All those times they pushed you away. Were not rejection. They were protection. Protection from the very thing they wanted most. Your love. Because they believed they did not deserve it. They believed they were unlovable. They believed the mask was the only thing worth loving. And you proved them wrong. You stayed. You saw. You loved. Even when it was hard. Even when it was confusing. Even when you wanted to give up. You stayed. And that staying. That is the miracle. One more piece. And this one is quiet. This one is holy. When they finally show you who they really are. When the last layer falls away. You will see something unexpected. You will see yourself. Not in their face. But in their fear. In their struggle. In their desperate need to be loved. Because you have been there too. You have worn your own masks. You have hidden your own wounds. You have pretended to be someone you are not. And now you have the chance to be free together. To take off your masks side by side. To stand in the light of who you really are. And to love each other from that place. Not from the performance. From the soul. And that love is the love you have been searching for your entire life. Not because it is perfect. But because it is real. Not because it is easy. But because it is true. Not because it will never hurt. But because it will never lie. That is the love that heals. That is the love that transforms. That is the love that will carry you through the rest of your days. And it begins now. In this moment. With this revelation. The mask is gone. The truth is here. And you are finally ready to receive it. Not with fear. With gratitude. Because the person you love was never the enemy. They were the teacher. The mirror. The doorway. And you walked through. Part 6 will reveal what happens when two souls finally meet without masks. And the love that is born in that sacred space. The story is reaching its most beautiful moment. Stay with me. The best part is still to come.